Hey guys, welcome to our channel. So we're taking a break from our regularly scheduled decode because the all-new Classic Metal Steve mentioned the missing link, and I couldn't find what he was saying about it being found in the 20s. But I did find something just as interesting. So I was reading this article here, and it says 8 years later, Darwin published On the Origin of Species. Well, I remember The Origin of Species. Well, here you go. The Origin of Species, Charles Darwin. But look at everything else. On the Origin of Species by means of natural selection. On the Origin of Species, Charles Darwin. Charles Darwin, On the Origin of Species. Here's another one, The Origin of Species. And as you go through here, this is the same one we just looked at. But here's another one over here that I have on the window, On the Origin of Species. Here's another one, On the Origin of Species by means of natural selection by Charles Darwin. Here's another residue or whatever, The Origin of Species by means of natural selection. Charles Darwin's On the Origin of Species. So as you go through here this appears to be quite possibly the original book On the Origin of Species. And this one also is On the Origin of Species. And here, On the Origin of Species. Don't remember the on being there when we learned about this, guys. There's more On the Origin of Species. There's more On the Origin of Species. On the Origin of Species right there. So apparently it was On the Origin of Species, but we got this residue here, The Origin of Species. And there's more. Charles Darwin, On the Origin of Species. And here's more. Well, this is the same thing we looked at before, The Origin of Species. And here's some more residue, The Origin of Species. And then it says On the Origin of Species. Charles Darwin, On the Origin of Species. That's Britannica. So Darwin's On the Origin of Species. There's Wikipedia. I kind of avoided that, but also Wikipedia On the Origin of Species. It's so interesting. So I guess we're going to go ahead and let this video go at that. Apparently now it's On the Origin of Species, but there's tons of residue for The Origin of Species in a simple search. So what do you guys remember? Go ahead and thumb this video up if you remember The Origin of Species like me. And go ahead and thumb this video right down if you remember On the Origin of Species. And this is by Charles Darwin. So, The Origin of Species by Charles Darwin or On the Origin of Species by Charles Darwin? Evidence for both, but apparently in the current history, it's On the Origin of Species. So, for now, guys, thanks for all your thumbs up, thumbs down when appropriate. Thanks for all your comments, leads, feedback, and subscriptions. And thanks for watching, guys. I'll try to get the next installment of the Gematria connections for REM Losing My Religion out as soon as possible. I have a lot left to do on that, so before I can even come out with part 3. So anyway, for now, you guys have a great rest of your evening.